Hey photo friends, today I am reviewing some of our favorite contrast photos. These were taken during our weekly challenge of contrast, which was a couple weeks ago, but I didn't get a chance to go through my favorites. So let's dive into them. I hope you enjoy. We have some amazing students taking photos, and as always, you can participate in our weekly photo challenges. Sign up below. If you're a student, you can potentially get featured if you're one of our favorites, but you could still follow along for free, get weekly emails with your prompt. So yeah, check that out in the link description. But I'm going to go through these. These are in no particular order, although the last one was my favorite. So we'll talk about that. But this one was by Terri, Revis, Swann. Just a stack of wood, which is something I love, photos like this, where it's just like something completely random, but you found a way to take a picture of it in, I think, a beautiful way. Love the texture and contrast. A lot of black and white photos, and we didn't just pick black and white photos because I think contrast is more than just taking a black and white photo, making it black and white, cranking up the highlights, bringing down the shadows and the blacks. But this was a good example of doing that, which does look pretty good. All right, next one. Here's a great portrait. This one's by Valencia. Great, looks like a single light source for this portrait. I love the positioning and the look on your models or whoever this is, her face and the positioning of her arm. Lots of great contrast in this photo from the lights to the shadows. Beautiful portrait. Here's a color one. So this I love because you still have a lot of contrast in the colors. So you have blues contrasting with the oranges and the yellows and the greens. So contrast isn't just darks versus lights, it's also color. It can also be story, something that's contrasted in your photo. What's the story that it's telling? I just love all the colors that show up in this photo. And this is by Gary Hill. This next one is by Mia Claire Photography. So if our students submit their Instagram handle, that's what we always credit our photographers, our amazing students, and we include their handle. So if you want to follow them below. This one, again, not a black and white photo, but contrast in the color and also in the lighting. So you got nice highlights, nice darks. The background is all black. I don't know if that was all in editing or just in where this bird was. Maybe the bird was just in this super bright beam of light and the background was dark enough to, when you do bring down those darks or those shadows potentially in post, this is what you end up with. I like that there's really not much that's completely overexposed or underexposed in terms of on our subject. I think that what would make this photo a little bit better is if we could see the bird's face a little bit more. I know obviously you can't control that, but I think that would make this a little bit more dynamic. But still, I think you see these feathers and again, you can see the details of within the shadow. So contrast doesn't mean just cranking down the shadows until it's like completely black. Here you still see most of what's in the shadows, but you still have that dynamic contrast between the lights and the darks. And I like seeing the color. I think if this was in black and white, it wouldn't have been as eye-catching to me. All right, this next one, Catherine J. Photography. This one is I think just a great artistic sort of edit of this leaf with a couple water drops. Got the reflection going as well. Or I'm guessing that actually that's not necessarily the reflection. I don't know if this is on water or not, or if it's just another leaf that's down below. But lovely contrast in the colors of the red and the green, and also just the background, choosing to make it all black so that leaf really pops out was great. Another leaf photo. So this is another one. Again, the contrast of the pinks, the magentas to these dark greens, I think is very beautiful. This one's from at Helen Engelgard. That's their handle. Yeah, just lovely colors that contrast with each other. And again, completely different image than this, but I think it's still a stunning image. Here's one from S. Vanden Steen Photography, or at Chickadees Art. Lovely bulbs. There's something about light bulbs that are just beautiful, and you got to know what you're doing to photograph them like this, with this one perfectly in focus, the exposure done perfectly where the filament in the bulb is, bright, but then the rest of the bulb, you see all the details of the glass and the other parts. Just lovely, lovely image, lovely composition as well. I think you did a really good job at that. You could tell there's a couple different types of bulbs in the background, and of course this one, just lots of contrast between the highlights and the darks. And again, I think this one wouldn't be as interesting if it was made black and white. So good job leaving this in color. Got a couple more. Here's one. This is just how it was uploaded from Eris Cleeks. This just lovely photo. I wish I had this one in better quality. These are just downloaded from Facebook, but lovely fingertips, lovely just composition, depth of field, perfect focus on the fingers, and lovely contrast as well. Even the painted nails add to that contrast, having more blacks, more darks with highlights. Piano, perfect example of what you can photograph with a lot of contrast. Two more. This one, lovely portrait, lovely positioning, storytelling. This is at AIC Photographia. Lovely, just backlit portrait. Everything about this I love. Lots of great contrast, but you still see the details in the fabric and her face. You don't lose that, which I think makes it more interesting. Also, her hair right here. I love this because she has this sort of dark veil over her head, this covering. And a lot of our other photos that we've seen here, they have the dark background, and then the subject pops out because they're brighter. But here, the subject is on a bright backdrop with this dark covering, makes her stand out. So great job. And to contrast this is my favorite one. Just in terms of execution, Donnie Hyatt took this portrait. Lovely, just one, again, looks like one source of light, but perfect positioning of that light, perfect positioning of her against the backdrop, because he could edit it so that it's completely black in the background. Her positioning, her facial expression, love it. And I love that it's in color. I love that we get these blues contrasting with the pink of her hair, and even some green in there. Just all around, lots of different contrasts going on in here. Potentially she's contrasted. Her expression gives off this vibe of being conflicted, having some sort of contrast in her life. She's not just super happy. She's not upset necessarily. So you're kind of not knowing what she's feeling, but both in the storytelling, but also the visuals, I think there's a lot of contrast in this image. Great focus, great editing with the colors and the exposures. So really good job. So everyone, round of applause. Great job with your photos. We love seeing them every week when we do these photo challenges. And as always, you can participate if you're a student of any of our photography courses. You can go to videoschool.com, click on photography, and sign up. You could become a member. We have a free trial for a month. You get all access to all of our courses, including our photography courses, where you could join our student Facebook group. And if you do want to just follow along for fun, you can get our weekly emails, although only students of ours can be featured who post to the official weekly photography challenge thread. So all the details in the description below. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in another week. Bye.